people might have available to them.
So,
scene transitions.
Yep.
300 milliseconds.
So what do you think about Katrina there? That's the...
Which one's Katrina?
Yeah, the skeleton lady with the pretty hat.
That's what she really looks like, huh?
Yeah, she's, I don't know where she comes from, but I know in Mexico they call her Katrina.
Katina or Trina?
Yeah, Katrina.
That's a legitimate name, or at least one that's very common, yeah?
Yeah.
Katrina.
Yep. Everybody knows her.
So she's probably pretty, yeah. Gets the crowd going or something?
Yeah, she's the symbol of the other world and death, and you know, around Halloween, and they bring her out, and because Mexicans are close to death, they're not so afraid to talk about it as Americans, for example, or so they talk about death. You know, that's part of the culture. They have cute little Katrina dolls. You know, they sell in the knick-knack stores. And, you know, kids dress up like Katrina on Halloween. And, you know, try to scare each other. Bong, bong, bong! Live from Tony's Diner. It's the Time to Live radio show.
With, featuring,
Peter Elmroth and Katrina! And special
Katrina.
guest.
Katrina, yeah.
Stephen Elmroth.
So she's got her teeth fixed and everything.
Yeah,
she's beautiful. Look at her.
Well, they didn't really give her so much makeup though. She could use a little blush.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Scene transitions.
So I was thinking of today talking about death. What do you think, Pop?
Yeah, life and death are with us for sure.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can count on.
Yeah, you want to somehow maybe, but you got to have a more than just some death thing, you know, to get, I think it all. It's a real interest, you know. You couldn't keep getting interested in just there's so ate a mouse last night. Who would do that anyway?
Yeah, probably not a good idea if it was dead.
Wait till it's dead.
Yeah, you gotta use the right time to talk about death. It's usually talking about life is more fun. People like to talk about it. It's more exciting. Well, death can be pretty exciting, but it's usually a good idea to surround yourself with life.
Yeah, that death is right around the corner. I mean, all somebody had to do is not much, and you're in a whole different world, you know?
Yeah.
Oof, what happened?
Yeah, you never know when it could be. You never really know, you know, if you were told by a medicine person or a magic witch doctor or a shaman or some sort of Nostradamus, and he would tell you the day of your death, would you want to know?
I don't think I would want to know, because that whole time I'd probably be thinking about it. And
right, if it was on Thursday, come next week.
It's going to be, yeah. And
then you say Thursday. If the guy told you, yeah, next Thursday, and you're going to get hit by a bus, then you just stay in your house that day, you know. Then it seemed like you could avoid it, but I don't think you can really avoid. You can only avoid it for so long. So it's good to.
Yeah, that's not going to. I can't see it would go a long time before people got involved in it and just pulled it back down to where it wasn't when you started, you know, where they, oh look, you can take care of it, you can talk to some Yeah, that's kind of and then now that real pretty lady's on there with her new hat and everything.
Yeah, she's really pretty.
You sure is pretty, Miss Kitty.
She looks so happy.
Delete.
So I thought we would talk a little bit about death, and I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta think about it.
Yeah, it's always a good topic.
You gotta sort of plan a little bit, and have a sort of an idea of what's going to go on, because why wait to the last minute? They say right before you die, life goes in slow motion, and you get to play back your life.
Do you know you're doing that?
Well, I don't know exactly what happens, but I have in my mind an idea that you are guided by someone.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I think. Here's what I think happens. Let's say your car is going off a cliff. You're going too fast, and then you're going on Route 1, the Pacific Coast Highway, or 101 in California, and you're going too fast, and you go off a 1,500 meter cliff. And you go boom, and then so you have, like a minute before you're going to hit the ground. So in that minute, as soon as you go off the cliff, you can see below you there's nothing but ocean. And that's it. You're not going to make it. So
you think so?
You look over in the passenger seat, and you left San Francisco, and you were by yourself. And you look over in the passenger seat, and James Dean is sitting there with you. Or Marilyn Monroe.
He's going to help coach you how to.
And he's gonna first calm you down.
Yeah.
So if he can calm you down before you hit the bottom, then he's gonna be able to prepare you. Because I think you have to prepare yourself for what's coming. And he only has a certain amount of time to help. He's only got a minute
to do that.
To do it. So you have to first be calm. You have to first calm down and say, okay, I'm going to die, no big deal. And then if you do that, then he can tell you what you got to do to meet your maker.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think, there's different, what do you think happens when you die? Let's say you go off the cliff and then you smash into the ocean, and then,
and the fish gets you, and I think it ends there.
And then what happens?
After that?
Yeah.
Well, the fish all gobbled you up and everything.
Well, let's say as soon as you hit the water, you're gone. That's it. Boom, impact. That's it. Done. And then what happens?
What happened after that?
Yeah, right. Do you think nothing? Do you think there's nothing, or do you think you go right?
There's got to be something, but
because some people think there's nothing.
It would be a wild guess to try to guess something that's going to happen.
Yeah. Do you think you get 72 virgins?
I'm not quite there yet. That's available to you.
Do you think you go to meet Saint Peter? San Pedro?
No, he seemed like he would be just a regular person, unless he's really had something to say.
Well, the Christians, don't they say you got to stand in line at St. Peter's gates, and then he talks to them, people in front of you, one at a time, and says, oh, whatever he's saying, I don't know. Then you get up to the gate, and then St. Peter looks at your list and goes through the things one at a time and says, oh, look at this, and look at this, look at this.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it, Steve Martin, he said. So, what did I do? For example, how many times did I take the Lord's name in vain? Ooh, 1,000,006. Jesus Christ. So, I think what you can do, I think you get a little bit of time to talk to James Dean, and he can explain to you. First of all, okay, you're dying. And what you're going to do is, when you're dead, you have to understand that you're dead. And you have to move on. If you want to stay here, you can stay as a ghost.
And then nobody knows you're there, right?
Well, only that Osmet kid from,
Yeah.
Remember what was that name of that movie? I See Dead People?
Yeah, I see dead people. That
Was it like Frozen I See Dead People? Or was it I See Dead People?
I thought it was I see dead people.
Because they're really cold. They're icy cold.
Yeah, I see dead people, and that dead was like it was.
It was a good movie.
Dead
What was the name? It was The Sixth Sense.
The Sixth
with
Sense.
Bruce Willis. Right? And we don't want to give any spoilers away, I guess.
Probably, yeah.
But the kid was talking to Bruce Willis, and he saw dead people that didn't know that they were dead, and he could convince the people that they were dead, and then they would say, "Oh, no wonder nobody's talking to me, because I'm dead. They can't see me." So the first thing you have to realize is you're dead. So that's what James Dean is going to say. Okay, he's going to say, calm down. I think you have to remain calm, because when you move into the next, when you cross over,
next phase.
well, you got to, you bring with you your emotions as
Baggage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't, and I wouldn't even say baggage. I would say large stones, because you still have to climb the mountain. When you die, you got to climb the mountain, and then you got to go meet your maker. So if you climb the mountain with a bunch of stones, it's not going to make your climb any easier. So he's going to say, first you got to remain calm, so you don't bring any stones, and then you got to have the right shoes and the right clothing. So if you have enough time, if you can calm you down and you can understand right away. I heard that the gods appreciate two things: fine clothes and courage. So you're rewarded for those things. So when you go to meet God,
He allows that to happen?
what?
To come and meet him one-on-one?
Yeah. I don't really know how that translates, but I know how I feel under the influence of hallucinogenic drugs. And like Terence McKenna said, hallucinogenic drugs are like a helicopter that give you a bird's eye view of the world, and when the drug wears off, the helicopter lands and says, okay, now you got to walk. So I know how I feel when I take hallucinogenic drugs, that I'm totally connected in a way that's really not describable to people that have never taken them. And I think that this connection is, I think God is the thing that explains it to you. Because really, God is, there's a differentiation between the cosmic hillbilly that created the human race and the source of all things. There's a few theories. The Gnostic theory is that the current version of the Anthropos, version 10, which is in the current moment as we speak, in transition to Anthropos 11, or as the Aztecs say, the the new sixth sun is emerging. Or as the Drunvalo Melchizedek say, we're entering into the third level of Earth. From the second level to the third level out of 5. And so the Gnostics say that it's a long, beautiful story, but the short version is that the Anthropos needed protection and was wrapped up as a earthling. The earth was created to protect the human. So the human took form, needed to take form, and the earth was given the human to take form on. That's the short version, I think. So the where was I going with that? The
form was created.
Yeah, the human form was created by, right, thank you, by what's called an aeon, and her name is Sophia, and we're not exactly sure exactly how the ancient Greeks pronounced their words, but John Lash says Sophia to differentiate it between, for example, the fembot Sofia. But the goddess from the center of the galaxy created the earth and the human beings, but she is not the creator of the universe. So the creator of the universe is, for me, so abstracted from my ability to talk about it that I don't find it sufficiently useful to talk about it. There's so many other things to talk about. Talking about the creator of the universe, the source of all things, doesn't even make sense to me. Can't have a really, decent conversation about it because there's no words to describe it. Our language doesn't contain the symbols that are required to convey the ideas that we don't even yet have because we don't have the language to convey. So we can talk about the creator of the human being, or at least according to the Gnostics, or anybody, but according to the Gnostics, it was a female goddess, if you will, and so she created the human being, and when we die, we'll probably go back and meet her. And so she, well, if you can indulge me briefly, what are we here at, the 18-minute mark? So to expand a little bit on the Gnostic view, the Gaia Sophia mythos from the Greeks, or the Gnostics, I guess we have Greek notes that were taken by adepts in the mysteries back then. They wrote in Greek, so there was the Nag Hammadi, the so-called Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Nag Hammadi library were found in 1945 in Nag Hammadi, Egypt, and by a farmer as leather-bound scrolls, I think, or not scrolls. They were like leather. I think they were leather, like little books. And they were hidden in a cave to...
Did he try to preserve them?
Well, somebody hid them in a cave. And I think because there was a great purge of this information when they did that, and that was probably, gosh, when was that? When were those written? Those were. I'm not really sure when we think those were written, but I would think they were probably written around. I don't know, but I'm not sure. Back before Jesus' time, I think maybe yeah, I really don't know. I don't know. Over 1,000 years ago. So they were hidden in a cave, and some farmer found them, and he turned them in, and they weren't, and they were right away kind of appreciated for their ancient value, in the 40s. But it wasn't until the 90s that they were translated into English. So 50 years they kind of sat in UN archives or somewhere. They were sort of hidden away, and then they finally surfaced around in the 90s, and then, well, as far as I know, John Lamb Lash, metahistory.org, is the only guy who really has done any real work on this story. And what happened was, according to the Gnostics, according to John Lash's translation of the texts, for some reason this Aeon, this goddess from the center of the galaxy called the Pleroma, she decided to go out on her own. Never been done before, and it was kind of a no-no. Went and got into a bad neighborhood in the galaxy. Got surrounded by what John Lash has coined the Archons. And in order to and what she did was she left with an idea, which, let's say it was a golden ring, and she got into a bad neighborhood, and these Archons wanted to take the ring. So what she did to protect the ring, the humans, the ring is the humans, the golden ring is the anthropos, the idea of the humans, called the anthropos. In order to protect this idea, she turned herself into a planet.
Into a planet?
Yeah. So her name as an Aeon in the Pleroma was Sofia, and when she turned herself into a planet, the planet was called Gaia. So that's the Sofia Gaia myth. The Gaia Sofia mythos.
That's current?
Gaia is Earth. The planet Earth is called by the Greeks Gaia. So she turned herself into Earth so that she could take her idea and turn it into and take it out of the, if you will, the dimension that the Archons were in. Some people don't have a good feeling when you say dimension, so she took it out of the neighborhood and she created a protective bubble, the planet Earth, and then she put her humans, and then she took her idea of the anthropos and created humans with that idea. And so then the humans were born on the Earth. Now, when that happened, she had a bunch of emotions came out of her. She realized that what she did was she didn't have a male to protect her. So she realized that she did something wrong. And all of this negative emotions got congealed into an entity also on the earth. But this entity was not of the earth, wasn't of her. It wasn't able to come to the earth, but it was able to influence the earth. So she captured, so this negative emotional debris congealed into an entity that had the form of the archons, which were the bad galactic gangsters. And that was later, the Jews call that creature Yaldabaoth.
Dabayoth?
Yaldabaoth. We're not really sure exactly how it's pronounced, but when I read the letters, that's how it looks to me.
It's like O-F-F.
No, it's like Almaroth, Yaldabaoth.
How do you know that?
O-T-H at the end. So that's what really the Christians call the original sin. This cosmic no-no that Sofia did was the original sin. So really, the planet was created according to the Gnostics, according to John Lash's translation. They say that the original Earth, the concept, the reality, came about through a mistake. So yeah. So that leads way. That segues into the correction of the mistake. And currently, according to John Lash, Sofia's correction began in 2014. So, what happened in 2014? John Lash is also a accomplished, well, according to me, he seems smart. I don't know exactly what he's accomplished. He's not what you would call this guy that I'm talking about who translated these texts, John Lamb Lash.
Yeah.
He's not a scholar, what one would call a scholar, because he's self-taught. But he's one of the smartest guys I've ever heard talk. And I don't know if that says anything or not, but seems smart to me. So John Lash knows about astronomy, or astrology, maybe we could say, which is the celestial alignments of planets and stars, heavenly bodies, and how they relate with, forward-grade and retrograde spins around each other and alignments at certain times. And you can tell you all about what happened in 2014, but basically what I know, there was a large influx of immigrants in the world in 2015, and in 2016 we had the height of what began in 2010, which is the Mandela effect. And the Mandela effect basically peaked in 2016 and ended last year in 2017. In October, I think, of 2017, just a few months ago. So the Mandela effect, if you remember, was Forrest Gump, right?
Forrest T.
Forrest T. Gump. Run, Forrest.
Run, Forrest.
So what did he say
Oh.
about the box of chocolates?
Well, at first I thought it was like life is like a box of chocolates.
Right.
You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But I don't know what is it. Since come to think that's life is a box of chocolates. Not as like a box.
Well,
but I
if
don't
you
know.
go, yeah, you're right. Life is like a box of chocolates. But if you go to YouTube now, it doesn't say that.
Doesn't say that.
You know what it says?
Life is a box of chocolates.
No, life was like a box of chocolates. What? Life was like a box of chocolates? So apparently, it was always life was like a box of chocolates. So why do me and you and a million other people that saw the movie have in our minds life is like a box of chocolates? Why is that? How is that possible? There's only two explanations.
Maybe they planted it there.
Maybe somebody photoshopped all the videos. Right.
That'd be pretty. That'd be a lot of work, I think. But
Well, especially since I have a copy on DVD in the closet that says life was like a box of chocolates. So they came into the house, photoshopped the CD, even had the same scratches on the CD that I remember, and then they reburned it on the same piece of plastic and they put it back in the case. Either that and did it for all the other million people that have DVDs in their closets. Either that's true, or we have the wrong memories in our mind. So either somebody photoshopped the physical DVDs, or somebody changed our memories. They're both hard to believe. Okay, here's another example.
Yep.
Okay, according to Isaiah, in the book of Isaiah, in the Christian Bible, the lamb lies down with what?
The sheep.
No.
Oh, the lamb. The lamb lies down. Was it a goat?
No, it's something that usually is going to kill the lamb.
The lion, then.
Right. That's how I always remembered it. The lamb lies down with the
The
lion.
lamb lies with the lion.
If you go to Isaiah now, you know what it says. It doesn't say lion anymore. It says wolf. Go to your Bible, go into the book of Isaiah and look it up. The lamb all of a sudden now lies down with the wolf.
So somebody
So all the pictures,
wrote it down different.
somebody wrote it down different.
Yeah.
Well, if you look, somebody wrote it down different. Well, then why is it in my mind lion? If they wrote it down wolf, and I have a Bible
Yeah.
from the 70s that says wolf. So somebody came in and scratched out the word lion and retyped in there the word wolf. Either that happened in my Bible in my closet.
That's pretty bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bizarre because I know it's the same Bible. I know the scratches on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Got my name written in it the exact same way that I remember. But now it says wolf. So why do I have the word lion in my head? And I asked Pastor Buck, the lamb lies down with what, Pastor Buck? He said lion. We turned to Isaiah, and what does it say? He was amazed. It says wolf. How is that possible? So either somebody scratched out and retyped in the word wolf in the perfect typeset, or somebody changed my memory. They're both really hard to believe. That's the Mandala effect. Okay? It's something to get your attention.
Yeah.
Right? And John Lash says that's the equivalent of the old acoustic modems. Remember the old acoustic modems we used to have? The HP modems? We called up the old HP 250 on the rotary phone.
Yeah,
and we put it in the
back, yeah.
That noise, that is what the Mandala effect is. That's the Earth saying, okay, get ready for the signal. Okay, the Mandala effect, for in all intents and purposes, ended last year, and it's over now. All the new mandala effects, according to John Lash, are bogus. Maybe there's a few ones coming in, trickling in, but for the most part, it's run its course and it's over. The handshaking phase of the correction, well, the correction started in 2014, and something is coming. So the Earth's handshaking protocol has now finished, and now the message from the Earth is now about to begin. So that's what John Lash says, and that the Earth is ready to. She's about to send us a message now. So the Gnostic story is beautiful. And that's the long version of the Gnostic story, is that it's an ongoing story. It's not a dead story where you're supposed to just die and then you can go meet your fairy angry male god in the sky. But it's an ongoing interactive story that's happening right now in 2018. Where you can stomp your feet down and you can feel the earth. You can feel the goddess underneath you. It's not some fairy god in the sky. She's a real living being underneath your feet. It's a beautiful story. So when we die, we're going to go meet her. Now, James Dean, in the car beside us, is going to help us. When we die, he's going to give us some pointers. Remember, the first thing we have to do is what?
First thing you have to do?
Right. When you realize you're about to die, what's the first thing you got to remember? The main thing. I'll tell you what it is. Unless you want to make a guess. You want to venture a guess.
No, you tell me.
I'll tell you. Remain calm. You bring your baggage of emotions with you across as stones to climb the mountain with. So you only have a certain amount of time, and time is the word I'll use, but that's not really how it is, because that doesn't exist. But you only have a certain amount to climb the mountain. Now, there's only, because after that the doors are going to close and you won't be able to meet God. And because God is the one who gives you wings. When you die, you have an opportunity to get wings. And then you can fly across the expanse and get to where you're supposed to be. Because what I think, now I have yet to read any of the translations of the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which detail it all out. We're supposed to take care of the dead for 49 days after they die, to guide them and give them good wishes, so they can transition peacefully. We in the modern culture don't do anything like that. When the body's still warm, we transfer it off to the morgue downtown and let those sneaky boys into there. So everybody's doing it, right? Even I allowed even my own mother to go that way. I don't have it in my mind to know what to do with my dead. So I don't know really how to take care of it, let alone myself. So, I'm trying to learn as we go here, but
you probably know you got to do something, right?
Yeah, well, I don't want to do the wrong thing, I don't want to I don't want to do the wrong thing. It's better to have no teacher than a bad teacher. If you're not sure what train to get on, stay at the station and smoke a cigarette. So I don't want to give somebody the wrong rights. I want to know I want to talk to people about death and see, find out what they, feel is the thing that needs to be done for them when they die. If they want a priest or, God forbid, some. So
how do you start your conversation then with like a random group or whatever the group is going to be, to start that dialogue going?
We're doing it right now?
Yeah, me and you are, right?
in the internet. This is being recorded on the internet. So we're the 39-minute mark. So we got about another 20 minutes.
So does it have a, I don't know if you call it like a, I just think of it as call and shout, where you get some feedback when you say something. Does that address the folks that are
the responders
that are, well, maybe it's the surprise waiting, so you have to wait for that.
Well, yeah, call and response, huh?
Yeah.
So you're talking about songs, singing, or what are you talking about?
Just response to what somebody's, like two people are doing with the data that they have. It's not going to have the same response for different people, I wouldn't think.
Right.
So it could be anything, right? The person's experience, they could, no, that wasn't right. It wasn't like that. It was whatever. Kind of like to be there when they all line up, Well, I don't want to be there and have to pay a price,
You have to pay the ultimate price.
Right. I'd like to know about it, but not pay the price,
Well, you got to pay sometime.
Or something, right?
Well, yeah, you gotta, you have but one life to give to your Creator.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you give at the end. You give your life. So there's that going for you. I teed off with the Lama, and big hitter, the Lama, and he drives his tee shot into the base of this 10,000-foot crevice, and he turns to me, and never forget it. He says, "Gunga, Gunga, Gulunga."
He says that to you.
Yeah. I say, hey. So then, we get through 18, and he's gonna stiff me. I said, hey, Lama, how about something for the effort?
Throw me something here.
And he turns to me and he says, I'll never forget it. Gunga Gulunga.
Gulunga?
He said, what? I said, what about that? He said, on your deathbed, you will have total consciousness.
Total what?
Consciousness.
Oh, total consciousness on your deathbed.
So, I got that going for me. Bill Murray.
Say, Bill, what's going on with
your total consciousness, Bill? You're going to be awake when you die, huh? Nice.
You arguing with yourself,
So let's wrap it up here. I want to just finish my little story. Right. So you're going off. Your car's going off. You got a 1951 Porsche. It's going off the rails, going through the guardrail, over the cliff on 101, Pacific Coast Highway, south of San Francisco, 1,500 meters up, and you know you're going to die. You look down, nothing but ocean. James Dean's in the seat with you, next to you.
Is he nervous?
Calmer than a calm thing.
You want to be with him, probably.
Calmer than the eye of a hurricane.
Yeah, that's where you want to be, probably, huh?
That's where you want to be.
You can.
So you're calm. He's calm. You're calm. Everybody's calm.
You pay for that?
You're about to.
Your life. But you don't get any stuck with did you say, did I say whatever then?
He said,
yeah,
whatever.
or you could take the thing directly to them, you know. And there's the, you can read that and check it if it's right, and you know if it's not, you can write in the right stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think you're trying to make a joke.
Well, it's kind of like a, maybe it isn't a joke, but another. They're looking at stuff that way, already looking at it that way, right?
Well,
they're saying this.
You're going to need to know there's a certain protocol you have to adhere to when you die. Because, according to me, it's not nothing. And according to Tibetans, certain colors mean certain things. There'll be a hallway with doors with different colors and symbols. And if you haven't had any training, you're not going to know what those doors are for. And if you look into the light of the door, you will automatically phase into it and you'll go through it. So you have to be careful what doors you look at. And standing in the hallway will be many tricksters. This is according to me now. The tricksters are going to get you to try to go into their doorway. And they're going to be...
They give you incentive?
They're going to give you love.
It's okay to...
They're going to fill your heart with a sense of love. And they're going to festoon the garb that they know you've taken, because they see the stones in the baggage you're carrying. And they're going to know what it is you expect to see on the other side and assume that. They're going to, for example, when they see a Christian coming through, they're going to see the symbol around the Christian's neck. And they're going to assume the visage of Jesus Christ. And these beings are able to resonate a wide spectrum of frequencies which are, and they can see, as you will be able to, your own frequencies, and you'll be able to see the blood coursing through your veins. You will be able to see the energy coursing through your meridians. You will be able to see under your skin, and like they do. So they're going to be able to see the rate of your heartbeat. Vibrate to that frequency and fill you with a sense of love. Assume your God, whether it be Allah, Jesus Christ, or Moses, so that filled with a sense of love, and you see somebody with pretty blue eyes and white hair and a nice fancy robe from Hugo Boss, floating slightly above the ground. Is he floating? How is he? And you're going to walk into his room. My advice is, do not look into any of these people's eyes or even talk to them. Say nothing. Perhaps wave your hand. If you want to say something, say the word no and continue down the hallway. Because what you're seeking is the end of the hallway will be the void. What you're seeking is the void. What your goal is to get through the hallway, because like you've heard as above, so below.
I've heard it, yeah.
You know, what does that mean? To you, what does that mean?
I don't know if I can explain it accurately, but
right.
It's...
What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
As above, so below.
Right. Because they say that in the Bible, right?
So, I guess I think it would be there to figure out when when it was later on in the cycle, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that it means that we live in a fractal universe. Which means, if it's true on this level,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably true
And a lot of,
on other levels as well,
yeah,
right?
I would think so.
Right, because water moves in a spiral, and also galaxies move in spirals. So as the galaxy moves, so moves the water.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, oh, there's my buddy. Hey, bud. What's up, buddy?
There he is.
So we live in a fractal universe, which means
No barking.
that I think that...
Hey, buddy.
Hey, little buddy. What is it? What is it?
Hey there, buddy. It's okay. Hey there, buddy. He's thinking that's not
Yeah.
somebody new. I don't even know who
Gotta
they
go
are.
again. What is it?
Oh, boy.
So, if you've ever been across an international border, there's kind of a no man's land where nefarious persons try to get you separated from your money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing, as below, so above. Also, that same border town scariness also exists in the border between the worlds. So, it only makes sense that when you're crossing over, like when you're going over to Mexico, you walk across Tijuana and you go over to Mexico. You don't want to talk to these people. Just look like you know where you're going. Keep walking. Don't, if they say, oh no, wait a minute, just keep going. They're not going to give you any information you need. They're only going to separate you from your money.
Mm-hmm.
All right? So, the other world that we get to, because when you die, the first thing you see isn't the other world. Right? You see the border town. You see the frontera. The 100 yards on either side of the border that's not part of either country. It's the no man's land, the international zone. Which is in neither world. Now you don't want to be there. Right? And once you die, you don't want to stay here. You know what a stepping stone is in the river? A stepping stone is when you want to jump across the river, but you can't quite make it. What you can do is if there's a stone in somewhere near the middle, you can jump, hit one foot on it, spring off of it, and then you get to the other side. Ba-boom, bada-bing. You don't want to stop in the stepping stone, right? And then change your mind and maybe come back. You don't want to do that. You can't stay on this side anymore. That's not an option. You got to go to the other side. And when you do it, don't stop on the stepping stone. Jump right across. The goal is to get to the other side of the river. The goal is to get down the hallway, past all those doors, and get to the other side. And when I looked to the guru on the other side of the hallway and I said, Guru, how do I get to the other side? He said, you're already on the other side. The joke fell flat because I didn't use the river analogy, metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll save that as a closer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
That's practice.
So we got, yeah, it comes with practice. So, you gotta, what we're looking for, the goal is to get to the other side, the other world where you have wings and you can fly and you can create, just like your dreams. When we dream, if you have a lucid dream, we could do another show about lucid dreaming. But when you die, it's like when we lucid dream, when we dream, well, the world we go to is the world we're going to, or at least it's a mere reflection of it. And when you're dreaming, you can do anything. You can fly. You can. Most people, when they get to the other world, they first make themselves look beautiful, and then they give themselves a bunch of money, and then they give themselves a fancy car and a beautiful wife and a beautiful family, and then a beautiful house and a beautiful landscape and a beautiful life, and then they realize, that they don't need money, they don't need food, they don't, if they want those things, you can have them. But anyway, we can create all the things we need, and we can actually do that here in this reality. And it's becoming easier every day because the veil is now pretty much gone. We can see through the worlds now, and they're mixing now, like an estuary. The saltwater fish and the sweet waters fish are living together. Mm-hmm. Strange, but the goal is to get to the other world. All right. So, in order to get there, we have to pass through the void. So we have to get through the hallway, get to the void, and then come out the other side. Right? So, as above, so below. Just like the voids between the worlds, there's two of them. There are also two voids, right? The birth and death. Right? We came through the one void to get here. Right? Wiped out our memory, came out through the womb, hopefully. Hopefully you weren't a cesarean section baby. But either way, it's okay. You get to go back through the same void when you go back. And the void is the absolute darkness, the absolute silence and cold. Right? That's the source. I'm not sure exactly what the void is, but it's probably like a hyperbaric chamber or like the deprivation chamber where you're floating and you can't feel anything. That's what you're looking for. Darkness with no sound and you can't feel anything. That's what you're looking for. And when you find that, then you know you're close. Just ride it out. Ride the void out. Stay calm. You got to try to stay calm through the whole thing. If you show any emotion, you're lost. Don't get angry. Don't get scared. Don't get excited. Don't get happy. Don't get too joyous. Don't show any emotion. You got to be stoic, like Clint Eastwood. All right, now if you can do that and get to the void, you float aimlessly for a short time, quote, quote, time. Then you come out, pop out in the other world. Just like music, this as above, so below, the musical scale, right, between B and C and E and F, I think it is. Right, there's only a half a step between whole notes. Those are the two voids, 90-degree voids. The musical scale, mm-hmm. Right? We have two voids there. That's birth and death. You have to go through going through the second void. It's the empty space, and then we'll pop out there. We'll get to the world, right? When you see the guy that dressed up like Jesus, telling you filling you with this love feeling, telling you can come into his world, and he's going to show you're going to be a king and you're going to have all these things.
You got to get out of there then?
No, you don't ever go in there. Because when you pop through the void and get out into the other world, you're going to be a king, still going to be a king, but you're going to be in the kingdom that you created. Mm-hmm. You can create galaxies and universes. Well, if you want to be semantic about it, you're going to be in the universe and you're going to be able to create galaxies all you want. But there's no multiverses. Anyway, he's going to say that you're going to be a king, but in his world. All right?
That's so good.
Why do you want to be in his world?
Right. It's not so
Why do people want to be with Jesus Christ? I mean, why would you want to be with a woman? Why would you at least have a female goddess, that you want to sit at the feet of and worship? Why do you got to worship some dude? You can create your own world. You don't need to go to somebody else's world. You don't need to go to Jesus' world. You can if you want, but I'm telling you, people get lost in there. You go down a rabbit hole. It's hard to find your way out of a rabbit hole. Most people get lost in there. Quote, quote, forever. Just don't waste all that, quote, quote, time in his universe. You don't need people to come into his universe. You don't need to go into his universe. You can go into your universe, create a universe, and then you can allow people to go and come into your your reality if you want. You can create all worlds and planets, and you can have people come over there and come into your and habitate your planets, and then you just create new planets and new systems, and go live on one of your own. You can live on your own planet if you want. You can make a whole bunch of people to live with you. You could you can ask a woman to come there with you, and then you can make babies, and then you don't have to worry about time. So just wait, and then suddenly you'll have families and babies, and families and planets will be filled with people eventually. You have all the time you want, and exactly on the planet how you wanted to create it. So, a word of advice: if you want to stay calm, and you want to get to the top of the mountain as fast as you can, so that you can meet God, go over your plan, what you did through your life, review it all, and have and talk about what you did right and did wrong. Talk about what you learned, what you didn't learn. And then if you don't pass graduation, then you're going to just come back and do it again. No big deal. But eventually you're going to graduate, and he's going to say, okay, and you go on to the next world. And when you do that, you get there in time, you get wings. And then with give wings, you can get a woman. Alright, then you can start your own planets. Now, I'll tell you, from what I know, women don't go with walkers. Alright? If you don't get wings, you gotta walk.
They want you.
You're walking down there on the bottom, you got the guys up here with all this blonde hair, riding around with these big, strong wings. You think they're gonna, any girls with, because girls get wings automatically. You think there's any girls gonna fly down there and walk on the bottom with the insects? With guys like you? And me? Now we gotta wait till we gotta stay calm. Don't bring any baggage with you. Get up there, do the questions the right, admit to the lessons you learned and didn't learn. You get your memories back that you lost when you came through the first time.
Maybe a good thing would just be to start off with a joke.
Beautiful.
Did you hear the one about the?
Did you hear the one about the Jew, the Mexican, and the black? There were 3 guys walk into a bar: a Jew, a Mexican, and a black guy. Well, that's it, I guess.
Yeah, here's your stuff.
All right, well, so we'll leave it there, Pop, and I guess we'll see you next week.
Alrighty, so now I'm going to think about something. I got to think it.
Think quick.
Where am I going to go when I leave here?
You're going to go to the other side.
But before that happens, what's the...
Whatever happens, stay calm.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Kinda, yeah.
Alright, Pop, see you next week.
Alright. Stay out of the hot sun, maybe? That's good advice.
Stay out of the hot sun.
Alrighty.